Chaos breaks out again at the Senate as the Cayetano faction backs the entry of 18 former Marines despite the new majority's order blocking resource persons from entering the chamber. The drama then moves to the hearing room, this as the supposed blue ribbon hearing or the hearing led by the Cayetano faction pushes through. But a cloud of doubt hangs over its legitimacy. In that same contentious hearing, the media becomes part of the firestorm. Senate reporters push back against Senator Rodante Marcoleta after he accused mainstream media of being paid hacks without any evidence. And outside the Senate walls, political tension takes a stranger turn. Rival groups face off in protest, with some protesters even turning to Zumba to call for Cayetano's resignation. Good evening, you're watching Political Beat. I'm Lourdes Vera. Despite the postponement order from the new Blue Ribbon Committee chair, Senators allied with Alan Peter Cayetano pushed through with a controversial flood control hearing. Let's get all the details from mobile journalist Merymon Reyes. Merymon, walang katapusan ang mga sorpresa. Okay, so kanina magkaroon ng konting gulo kasi may nag-press conference ang bagong Senate Acting President, si Win Gatchalian. Pero immediately after, nagkaroon ng press con din ang chair ng Blue Ribbon Committee, followed by Alan Peter Cayetano, the brother. Pero saan nagsimula ang, sabihin natin, matinding kalituhan na? At which point, Merymon?
Lourdes, simula kagabi kasi nung nagkaroon nung power shift, yung nagkaroon ng change of reorganization, yung aligning again sa Senado, medyo confusing na talaga siya up until this day kasi yung supposedly si Senator Erwin Tulfo ang may hawak ng Blue Ribbon Committee who confirmed that it will proceed with its hearing Monday next week, June 8. However, the Cayetano-led bloc still pursued their hearing. Ito yung sinasabi nilang Blue Ribbon hearing. So, contrasting na naman ito. So, it's again confusing. Pero kanina umaga, around 9 o'clock a.m., si Senate President Pro Tempore Senator Win Gatchalian, he actually confirmed na walang official hearing today, walang committee hearing today. Kaya he was also confused kung bakit merong nag-aayos session hall na venue nitong hearing ng Cayetano-led bloc. Pero dahil nga sabi ni Senator Tulfo, it will happen on Monday, so everything will happen on Monday. Plus, naglabas din siya ng order na magiging shortened yung office hours ngayon. This is to also ensure na lahat ng employees na nag-report on duty on-site maaaring makauwi, lalo pa sa inaasahan na kung sakali mang magkakaroon ng tensyon o gulo sa Senado. Right after the press con of Senator Gatchalian, 10 a.m. naman nakalagay yung huling schedule nung Cayetano-led hearing. And truth be told, sina Senator Pia Cayetano sinundo itong ex-Marines, allegedly bagmen who delivered yung mga mali-maleta na nilalaman ang kickbacks from flood control projects at doon nagkaroon ng kaunting gitgitan. At habang hinahabol natin yun, nakita rin natin si SILG John Vic Remulla in the scene, even Senator Robin Padilla na sinasalubong din o i-escort sana yung Marines. Ito yung sinabi ni Senator Pia na sila raw ay nagkaroon ng struggle, hinarangan daw sila ni SILG Remulla pero naipasok naman nila sa session hall itong resource persons. Pero we should also note na kanina sinabi rin ni Senator Gatchalian dahil walang hearing, hindi maaaring pumasok ng session hall itong resource persons. Pero wala naman daw pumipigil kung sakaling may i-conduct na meeting ang mga senador dahil opisina naman nila ito. Pero may protocols lang din na dapat sundan. Pero everything else followed na ipagpatuloy nila yung Cayetano-led na hearing. Lord.
Okay. Sinasabi ni Secretary John Vic Remulla na nandun siya hindi para pigilan yung pagpasok. In fact, he was on his way out daw. That's his claim, no? Essentially. Tapos, sa press conference si Senator Gatchalian, kanina sinabi niya, the rationale for the presence of the Secretary is because there was a potential security issue outside, no, the Senate complex. Kasi because of the mga rally na nangyayari, yung mga mobilization ng mga tao, Pero tinry ba talaga, was there really an attempt on the part of John Vic Remulla to prevent the 18 Marine Corps witnesses? Kasi before the tulakan, what we heard were the shouts of, "Sir, sir," the same sirs na narinig natin nung nagkumprontahan sila ni Alan Peter Cayetano nung arrest ni Jinggoy Estrada.
Lord, ang sinabi rin kasi diyan ni Senate President Pro Tempore Gatchalian, preemptive action yung personal na paghingi niya ng assistance kay Secretary Remulla. Pero this is also to avoid yung mishap na nangyari ng mga lumipas na linggo and to ensure yung safety and security ng Senado loob at labas. Kaya pagkatapos ng press con, it happened dito sa isang room, sa sumulong yan nangyari. Lumabas si Secretary Remulla and yun yung sinundan natin siya. And he was on his way out na nga rin ng, let's say, sabay-sabay rin nangyayari na nandun yung Marines, pero sabi niya palabas na rin daw siya. And nasabi niya wala naman daw siyang kasamang security with him. So he couldn't have, or he doesn't have the capacity to block the resource persons, to block the Marines. Sabi niya parang biglaan lang ang sumunggab, kumbaga nasama siya doon sa gulo. Pero ang nilinaw niya kanina, wala raw siyang ganong intensyon. On the other hand, even Senator Robin Padilla, sinabi niya rin na wala rin daw yung claims na sinasabing sinimulan nila, hindi rin daw yun totoo.
Pero nakikita natin sa mga video, mukhang medyo talagang may intensyon, no? Sinasabi ng iba, ayan, no? Silang dalawa talaga yung nakita na. Pero meron ba talagang attempt, kung hindi si Secretary Remulla, was there really an attempt on the part of any staff members to block the entry of these resource persons or these witnesses?
Lord, ang sabi ni Senator Gatchalian, hindi sila pwedeng pumasok sa session hall. Again, merong visitors protocol, may guests protocol kung sakali man na may pupuntahan dito sa loob ng Senado dahil nga opisina pa rin ito ng mga senador. Pero to note, dahil wala raw hearing, hindi official yung hearing na gagawin today, hindi maaaring gawin sa session hall kasi yung venue ng hearing supposedly ng Cayetano-led block ay sa session hall gagawin. So hindi yun maaaring mangyari. Pero what happened, kaya nagkaroon din ng commotion was sila Senator Pia Cayetano mismo kasi dahil ang kiniklaim ni Senator Pia, hindi raw nga pinapapasok itong Marines. So siya mismo personal na bumaba. Nakita rin natin si Senator Robin Padilla na bumaba and they escorted the Marines upstairs hanggang maipasok nila sa session hall. And during that time na hinahabol natin sila, may yung mga staff nitong mga senador kasama sa pagsalubong, even kay former Congressman Mike Defensor, sinalubong din siya, inabangan din siya hanggang makapasok sa session hall. And may ilang personnel tayong nakasabay, na medyo nasiko nga tayo habang hinahabol natin paakyat ng hagdanan itong mga resource person. Pero that's the most that happened hanggang pagpasok nila sa loob. Syempre, hindi na kami makalagpas doon sa boundary, papaloob na ng pinaka-session hall. So, may mga nakasabay tayo along the way at nagkagit-gitan din talaga.
Ako, Marymon, if it were the other way around, walang kuryente kanina yung Senate Hall, walang aircon at nakakandado yan. Modus natin ng ano. Pero Marymon, okay. So, natuloy na nga yung hearing/press conference. Matagal-tagal din yung press conference, ha? Okay, some very big names were mentioned, including President Marcos, the name of former Speaker Martin Romualdez and several senators, as well as a priest at several congressmen, no? Okay, ano yung key points ng proceedings at pinapalabas mo itong proceedings of this is the reason why they do not want the blue ribbon hearings continued kasi dawit sila, parang may ganung Marymon, agenda.
Well, ang sinasabi kasi ni Senator Alan Peter Cayetano is ayaw nila na partial lang daw ang lumalabas, kailangan daw impartial na investigation ang mangyari and impartial daw ang mga kasagutan. Kaya ang sinasabi kahapon ni Senator Dati Marcoleta at ni Senator Cayetano sa live stream niya online, today will be a remarkable day for their hearing kasi ito na raw yung magtitiyak ng direksyon ng pagdinig or yung investigation sa anomalous flood control projects. Pero yung mga nasabi kanina ng Marines ay hindi ito bago. Yung pagpapadala kay former House Speaker Martin Romualdez, kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos sa Ilocos, dagdag na rin natin mga kongresista, sila Congressman Terry Redon. Ito ay mga nasabi rin nila Ang idagdag din natin dito ay yung claim naman na si Senator Ping Lacson may kinalaman daw sa pagpapadala ng kickbacks gamit para isang chopper, which was debunked and denied kanina lang ni Senator Ping Lacson nila statement. Si
May
Senator
Tito Sen
Erwin
pa.
Tulfo na yes, na si Senator Erwin Tulfo naman ang sinasabing pinadalhan daw sa kanya location or address sa Green Hills. Ang sabi naman dyan ni Senator Erwin Tulfo, nag-viral daw siya months ago nung may kinonfront siya sa Home Association, doon yon sa Green Hills. Kaya alam daw ng napakaraming tao na may location siya or may address siya sa Green Hills. Plus, hindi rin daw nagko-connect yung mga numero, hindi rin daw consistent yung nilalaman ng mga testimonya na to, and they're debunking yung claims na mga ito. They're saying na demolition job ito against these senators and bogus investigation ang ginagawa kanina.
Okay, pero Mary Mon, aside from yung testimonies ba, meron bang mga pinresent man lang na credible na pieces of evidence kahit papano?
So far, ang nakita kasi natin kanina is yung testimony ng nitong Marines na ipinadala din nila, if I'm correct, sa Office of the Ombudsman, or yung pinakahuli na kinolet nila kasama ni Attorney Baligot. Pinadouble check pa nga yun ni Senator Marcoleta. And all the narratives nila, and nagkasalita yung mga Marines, tinatanong ni Senator Marcoleta as the man of the hour, kung sino raw ba dito ang nagpadala ng mali-maleta kay former Speaker Romualdez, may nagtaas ng kamay, kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, may nagtaas ng kamay. So yun yung naging flow kanina. Pero to note, nung tinapos nila yung pagdinig, ang sabi rin ni Attorney Baligod, nung lumabas na sila kasi hinabol din natin sila, mas marami pa raw silang ilalabas na bagong info or bagong, findings sila or bagong alam nila sa susunod na pagdinig ng Cayetano-led na hearing. So walang dinrap na pangalan na bago itong si Attorney Baligot, pero sabi niya meron daw silang ilalabas pang bago.
Merong weird na eksena kanina na pinanumpa ang abogado ni Zaldico na si Attorney Roy Orindain. Pero nandun daw siya not as a legal representative of some of the names that he's never heard before.
And nilinaw niya lang din na natanggap niya nga raw yun, kaya pumunta siya, pero wala din daw siya doon para either dungisan ang kung sino man or magsalita or whatnot. Kaya sumaglit lang din talaga itong si attorney, lumabas din siya. So we took the opportunity, hinabol natin si attorney at tinanong natin yung kaalaman niya naman kung nasaan ngayon si former Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico. Sabi niya hindi niya raw alam kung nasaan ito. Pero the last time that they talked was through his phone or through a cell phone 3 days ago. And ang sinasabi, kung sakali man na babalik man daw dito sa bansa itong dating kongresista, ang kailangan lang daw masiguro, wala na raw threat dito kay Zaldico.
Bakit tinatawag niyang man of the hour si Senator Marcoleta? Bakit niya tinawag ng bayarang media ang media?
Well, si Senator Pia Cayetano yung nagsimula nung pinaka-hearing nila, pero the one who took the wheel or who took over yung pinaka-hearing kanina was Senator Dante Marcoleta. And sa pagsisimula nung kanilang pagdinig, kinwestiyon ng mga senador na to from the new minority or the current being called as the Cayetano bloc, kinwestiyon nila yung scope ng coverages of the media. And to note, merong dramatic pause doon si Senator Marcoleta na karamihan daw ay bayaran. So they were questioning yung pagkakakulang o kaya hindi pagkakakumpleto ng mga inilalabas daw na impormasyon sa iba't ibang platform. While later on doon naman sa press con, nung tinanong ulit yung swift remark na yon or yung swiping ni Senator Marcoleta sa media, humingi naman ng pasensya si Senator Marcoleta at sabi niya it was out of his frustration, pero yung isang pinaghugutan niya ay noong INC rally daw last year, 45 minutes siyang nagsalita, may speech daw siya doon, pero yung nabanggit niyang dalawang dyaryo ng bansa, hindi man lang daw nabanggit yung pangalan niya, kahit daw narinig man lang, wala raw yon. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano seconded, humingi rin ng dispensa, and ang kinwestiyon naman is yung paglalabas nga ng info sa iba't ibang platform, and they are hoping daw na sa mga susunod ay maging kompleto ito. Yung sinasabi nilang hindi lang daw partial, kundi impartial at buong katotohanan daw.
Okay, merong dalawang grupo ngayon sa Senado of course, may kanya-kanyang kilo sila. Pero ang interesting dito, Mary Mon, ay kung meron bang mga same members of the Senate staff na magpapakita ulit sa Monday kasi may hearing ulit. Or meron bang mga staff na hindi magpapakita because sino ba pakikinggan nila? Paano bang ano rito? Paano bang sistema rito, Mary Mon?
Lord, ang sabi dyan ni Senator Cayetano, the decision is up to the employees. Ayaw niya na raw silang parang questionin or i-push on loyalty kasi raw yung iba ang buhay na raw talaga is dito. They started from the ground up sa kung nasaan na raw sila sa gobyerno and lagi raw silang up to date sa mga nangyayari. So bahala na raw ang mga empleyado. Pero ang isa pang kinwestiyon nga ni Senator Cayetano, buti nga daw merong mga staff na nag-prepare nung pagkain ng resource persons. Pero kanina sa naging hearing nila, wala tayong nakitang stenographers. Yung directly talaga, yung Senate personnel from the Secretariat or yung broom, wala. So yung nasa likuran ng mga tao, ng mga senador, ito ay mga senatorial staff. So if ang magiging point of yung magiging point of comparison nito sa Blue Ribbon Committee hearing ni Senator Erwin Tulfo next week.
Medyo theoretical question to, Mary, mga hypothetical. Let's say, merong isang resource person or isang potential, pinadalhan halimbawa ng invitation. Sino ang ituturing niya na lehitimong Blue Ribbon Committee invitation? Yung Tulfo faction ba o yung Cayetano faction?
Natanong ko yan kay former Congressman Mike Defensor na present kanina doon sa Cayetano-led na hearing. Ang natanong namin kung pagkakunwari ba si Senator Tulfo, yung gagawin niyang hearing on Monday, padalhan ba siya ng invitation, pupunta ba siya, or hindi siya pupunta doon, hihintayin niya yung schedule ng pagdinig ng Cayetano-led block. Ang sabi niya sa kanya, parang wala naman daw problema, lalo pa kung merong mga akusasyon na kailangan linawin, pero he cannot say the same para sa ex-Marines. So I think it would really depend sa magiging dynamics nila and maybe yung affiliation nila. Pero si Senator Erwin Tulfo naman, sinabi niya na they're still checking yung resource persons kasi baka mag-forum shopping lang, lalo na sa case netong 18 ex-Marines, hindi pa naman final at hindi pa nila sinasabing hindi ito matutuloy, hindi na naman sinasabing matutuloy itong mga Marine na iimbitahan, pero napadalhan na raw nila ng letter of invitation si former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. So again, we'll still wait pero ang pinupush din kanina ni Senator Cayetano, ipapasok daw nila sa official records yung nangyari kaninang hearing nila. Though, again, on the technical side, medyo mahirap yung mangyari. Hindi natin alam kung saan niya ipapasok na records. Kasi kung ilalabi ito under the Blue Ribbon Committee or yung archives, let's say, technically it's under Senator Tulfo if we're going to follow yung timeline ng power shift at hindi kay Senator Pia Cayetano. So hindi pa natin alam kung saan nila ipapasok. Pero ang sabi ni Senator Alan, they will be putting it down into as an official documentation dito sa Senado.
One for the books ito, Mary Mon. First time to nangyari. Ibang klase ito. Pero sa Monday ba, maliban to sa mga binanggit mong pangalan na may invitation sa... Sino yung mga confirmed na mga mag-a-appear na witness?
Wala pang sinasabi si Senator Tulfo. Usually din kasi yung ibang notices, for example, ang nasabi lang sa amin kanina si former House Speaker Romualdez, napadalhan na, hindi pa naging malinaw kasi iba pa dito, kailangan pa raw niyang i-consult yung mga veterano na, yung mga senior niya ng senators na kasama, lalo na yung moving forward na Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. So I guess we'll see pagdating ng Monday. Pero itong hearing na to kanina, na nangyari, yung Cayetano-led na hearing, ang nakalagay kasi doon na resource persons is yung sa ex-Marines, si Atty. Baligod. May nakalagay doon, hindi siya name pero DPWH Secretary or Representative, DOJ Secretary or Representative, representative from the Office of the Ombudsman. So puro ganun siya. Pero we'll see over the weekend kung sakali. Binibigay rin naman siya usually kapag magsisimula na yung pagdinig.
Meron ba nagbanggit ever, Mary Mon, ng posibleng pagdulog sa Korte Suprema para mamagitan sa mga tanong na ganito?
Ang sabi dyan ni Senator Alan, natanong natin yan kanina nung nagpe-press con sila kung sila ba ay hihingi ng tulong sa Supreme Court or are they gonna raise this issue to the Supreme Court? Ang sabi niya, parang hindi raw nila kailangan gawin yon. Mukhang ang may kailangan gumawa niyan is yung Gatchalian-led bloc. Kasi sila mismo, sinasabi nila walang basehan yung case, yung Supreme Court ruling, walang basehan yung kinuha nilang na pwedeng maging quorum, yung 12 for 23 at 22 senators or 23 senators or active na senators. Ang sinasabi nila, illegitimate yung naging power shift kahapon. Sila raw ang legitimate, and ang sabi ni Senator Alan, he will assert his Senate leadership, he will write the letters, he will function accordingly, he will act accordingly. At kung magkasabay man daw sila, it's up to the people to decide daw kung sakali mang magsabay sila ni Pro Temp Gatchalian.
Bago kita pakawalan, Marymon, palinaw lang ha. Alam ko masakit sa ulo to buong araw. Buong araw ka nagbibigay ng reports. Pero sabi ni Tito Sen, hindi na si APC o si Senator Cayetano ang Senate President. Pero meron pa rin overwhelming acceptance na si Senator Cayetano pa rin ang Senate President. Tama?
Yes, meron pa. Kasi we actually need legal illuminaries to shine light on this one. Kasi technically, acting lang as presiding officer si Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. Hindi pa siya maaaring maging Senate President or SP dahil wala pa yung majority votes or majority senators na 13. So, pero ang nilinaw naman ni Senator Gatchalian kanina, in the absence of the SP, lahat ng functions ng SP or yung mandato nito maaaring gawin or i-pursue ni Pro Temp. So sa case na to, that is Senator Gatchalian. Pero on the other hand, for Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, technically din, tumatayo pa rin siyang Senate President kasi nga hindi pa nagkakaroon talaga ng ousting. So, again, we'll see how everything's gonna unfold. Lalo pa ang nasabi rin ni Senator Gatchalian, titignan din daw nila yung possibility ng pagpapakol ng special session, yung paghingi ng tulong sa palasyo. So, we'll see kung sakaling ma-address ba ito sa mga susunod na linggo. Or if not, probably sa second regular session na ng Congress.
Hindi pa rin kasi malinaw kung ano ba ito. Ang binibilang ba natin 23 o 24 o 22? Di ba? Kasi yung 13, nakasulat ba yan sa papel? Hindi raw, di ba?
Quorum talaga kasi. So yung titingnan kasi dito kung saan yung pagbabasehan na numero, yung total number nga ng active senators. Kaya nga yung doon sa case ng Abilino versus Cuenco, during that time, ito lang yung number ng senador. May isa pang precedent case, I think that's 2015. Ito lang din yung available ng mga senador. Yung iba wala, yung iba nakakulong. So doon binatay yung quorum. Pero then again, yun nga, ang sinasabi ng Cayetano-led bloc, hindi raw ito legit, hindi raw ito applicable sa case nila.
It's a case of he said, Marymon Reyes. Maraming salamat sa iyong ulat. Ang buong araw, umaga pa lang, nagre-report na mula dyan sa August Halls of the Senate. Marymon Reyes. You deserve a big drink, Marymon. All right, Political Beat will be right back. Don't go away. More personalities are speaking out after being tagged anew in an alleged kickback scheme linked to the flood control scandal. Among them is former Surigao del Norte representative Robert Ace Barbers, was previously denied. And outside the Senate, kanina, nako, ang sabi niya, magpaliwanag na lang kayo sa korte. All right, maraming thank you for being with us. Congressman Robert Ace Barbers, the gentleman from Surigao. Sir.
Thank you, Lord, for having me here in your show at magandang gabi sa ating mga kababayan.
Sir, asan yung maleta, sir?
Actually, gusto ko nga hanapin at tanungin, gano'n ba kalaki
Nagulat
maleta?
pa ba kayo sa kanina na dawit yung pangalan ninyo?
Hindi na actually, because yung previous appearance nila sa about 2-3 months ago yata yun, no? Yung dating Blue Ribbon Committee sa Senate, nilabas na rin nila yan. No? Nag-submit nga sila ng affidavit. Kung di ako nagkakamali, yung press con yata, no? Nag-press con sila sa Club Filipino at binagbabanggit na kami lahat doon. And after that press con, I think nag-attempt sila pumunta sa Senate to submit this affidavit, but unfortunately, hindi sila naimbitahan. So because of that press con, Lord, ako, I decided no, na dapat makasuhan yung mga ganitong nag-iimbento ng mga nakakapanirang puri. No? That's why I personally filed a libel case against this group dito sa amin sa probinsya.
Ang interesting dito, ang isa sa mga nagpapakilos dito, isa sa mga contacts, is your colleague, former colleague in the House of Representatives, Congressman Defensor, Mike.
Yeah, well, in fairness to him, he's been open to me and he actually told me na yun na nga, doon nga sa kinuwento lang sa akin ni Mike, no, tungkol dito sa maleta daw na binigay doon sa 24 members of Congress. Siya din daw nagulat, no? At sinabi nga niya, nagtataka siya, tayo ba'y sigurado diyan sa mga pangalan na yan? So apparently, hindi siya involved dun sa gumawa, no? Naggumawa ng listahan. Meron sigurong behind, no, na nag-imbento at gumawa nitong ng listahan ng mga pangalan.
Anong suspicion mo bakit nadama yung pangalan mo?
Well, unang-una, kung napapansin mo, the list of names, no, na nandun sa sinabi nilang o nilagay nila sa affidavit nila, lahat 'yun membro o karamihan ay membro ng Quadcom,
Yeah.
no? At yung Quadcom naman, alam naman natin na isa doon sa mga nag-imbestiga, no, sa previous administration
Of course.
ng mga issues na malalaking issues na sa lipunan nung panahon na 'yon. Yung iba
Akala ko
naman
mga left.
yung iba naman ay membro ng Blue Ribbon Committee o yung sa amin sa lower house. Ito yung Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. So obviously it seems that merong plano, no, na parang pagtatakip, no. Ano ba yung bakit ko nasabing pagtatakip? Mukhang mainit na usapin ngayon yung tungkol sa impeachment na parating ngayong July 6, no? And there seems to be some attempts, no, to destabilize, no, ang ating gobyerno in a way na nagkakaroon ng diversionary tactics, no, dun sa national conversation. Kasi ang usapan, ang conversation ay tungkol sa impeachment, but nilalayo nila doon sa usapin ng impeachment. Kaya nga nagkaroon itong ganito na namang investigation sa Blue Ribbon. Marami na ngang inconsistencies yung mga affidavits na yan. If you recall, I think there was a time that they held the press con na wala pang mga pirma, no? Wala pang pumipirma doon sa sinasabing 18 ex-Marines, no? Karon din ang issue na mali at fake yata yung nagnotaryo, no, dahil hindi yung totoong abogado. And marami bang issues na nakadikit dyan sa affidavit na yan, na kung saan naglista sila ng mga pangalan na walang katotohanan.
Sa tingin niyo, diversion lang ito from yung real na proseso na dapat abangan, which is the impeachment. Sinasabi niyo palagi ganun, di ba? Okay. Pero you're in esteemed company, may pari pa na nakasama dito.
Yun na nga nakakagulat nga. Meron pa nga dyan na ilang taon ng patay, nasama rin doon sa affidavit, no? Marami rin dyan na hindi pa congressman noong 2025 at 2025 lang naging congressman o congresswoman, pero nasama. And apparently, they were given the so-called maleta or the envelopes 2024. So hindi masyadong magulo at malikot.
Okay, you being a veteran in Philippine politics, sa amoy ninyo, at of course, nakasama nyo rin ang Senate President kayo, nakasama ninyo sa Congress. Hindi ko alam kung congressman kayo nung nag-term sharing sila noon, pero from basing on the way things are moving, magkaka-impeachment pa kaya tayo?
Honestly, sa tingin ko, wala nang option not to go and follow the Constitution. The Constitution clearly says, no, that if 1/3 of the members of the lower house endorses articles of impeachment, the Senate must proceed with trial forthwith. Di ba? Naging issue pa nga yan. So ngayon, nakasubmit na, nagkaroon na nga ng binigyan ng 10 days to answer, to submit her pleading, si Vice President Sara. And then, ngayon, 5 days naman sa prosecution team. After this, they will proceed with the pre-trial. No? Mag-uusap sila, sinong witnesses nyo, anong ebidensya nyo, ito naman ang sa amin, ito naman ang witnesses namin.
Kamo, dream come true yan dapat para sa kanya.
Well, yeah, it is actually dahil nga pagkakataon yun para mapatunayan na lahat ng mga aligasyon ay maaaring hindi totoo. Di ba? And yun nga sinasabi natin, we should give everybody a day in court. Di ba?
Pero kasi, like what happened last year, for some reason, the Senate will never run out of Aikido tactics to derail the process. May remand, may kung ano-ano. Ito ba sa yung parang may nagmamaniobra na hindi matuloy kasi hating-hati talaga, basag-basag?
Well, yung itong pangalawang impeachment na ito, talagang sinunod ng Committee on Justice to the letter yung sinabi ng Supreme Court. No? Base sabi ng Supreme Court, itong gawin nyo, ito yung proseso, ito yung tama. At sinunod yan no, ng mga membro ng Committee on Justice. In spite of the fact that some of them are using the interviews, no? Kasi merong isang interview na kung saan nabanggit yata na inihantulad no sa isang mini trial itong gagawin ng Committee on Justice. So parang ang sinasabi ito pala i-trial ay bawal yan because the trial is only done in the Senate. When Senate convenes as an impeachment court.
Tsaka pinipigilan ni Chair Jervil Luistro. Every time may tanong na parang approximating the tone of a...
That's correct, yan. Because it was only for clarification. Clarificatory lang naman yung hearing na yun. It just so happened that people got so interested kung ano ba yung ebidensyang meron. At ayun na inilatag ng Committee on Justice.
Pero okay, isa ka sa mga... Ang forthwith ay hindi yung June 30 or July 30 is not forthwith. Ang opinion mo rin. Pero how are you at liberty to divulge your involvement in the sabihin natin prosecution panel?
I'm just an observer. Ako ay nasa...
Do you give advice? According to some people in the know.
Well, you know, if they ask me, I would be more than willing to share whatever experience I had. No? But magagaling sila. Actually, magagaling itong ating impeachment prosecution team. No? Nag-aaral sila. In fact, naghahanda sila. Lahat ng kanilang... information is done through research at mukhang isinasa puso nila no itong dahil talagang naghihintay sila ng isang trial na ika nga ni VP Sara ay bloodbath.
Pag nagwala si kunyari no hypothetical lang pag nagwala si Miriam Defensor Santiago, who are your witnesses? List down your pieces of evidence. Kumpleto sila. Maganon, malamang.
Kompleto. In fact, yan ang isa sa magiging agenda ng pre-trial. Kaya magkakaroon ng pre-trial para hindi magkakagulatan. No? Sasabihin ng prosecution, ito yung aming witnesses, ito yung aming ebidensya. Whether documentary evidence o testimonial evidence, ito yung mga taong lalabas na witness. Ganun din naman ang gagawin ng defense. No? Magpapakita rin sila ng kanilang ebidensya, kanilang counter, no? Kanilang mga witnesses din. Para hindi maiwasan yun magkakagulatan during the trial.
Gulatan talaga. Okay. So, sinasabi nila, yung impeachment controversy, this whole process daw, nakasakit sa mga admin candidates in Mindanao. You disagreed. What did political observers miss?
Well, they probably thought during the time no na kasi base sa mga surveys na lumalabas talagang malaki ang results ng those who are in favor of Duterte, but perhaps they missed kung gaano ba katindi yung endorsement power, no, gaano ba katindi yung campaign na kung saan ay tatayo sa entablado at ikakampanya ka. Siguro I don't know if that could even be quantified, no. Pero kung if it can be quantified, siguro sana nakikita natin yun. Kasi napaka-importante yung eleksyon na lahat ng inendorso mo ay nanalo. Pero kung lahat ng inendorso mo, kung 10 ang inendorso mo at isa lang nanalo, ibig sabihin, baka kulang ng endorsement power or whatever they want to call it. Some political analysts would say, magic wand. No? Pag may magic wand, merong magic wand yung mag-endorse, sigurado panalo. Pero it didn't happen that way in the last elections. Although, there are several issues that may have affected the results. And specifically, dun sa mga kandidato na naapektuhan ng mga issue.
Okay, you've seen Congress go through Ramos, Estrada, Arroyo, Aquino, Duterte, Marcos. Those eras, ano? Pero, you think Congress has become more independent or more dependent on Malacanang as the years went by? Sinasabi nila itong gulong to is an indication na may independence. Anong tingin po ninyo?
Totoo, I agree. No? May independence ang lower house, may independence ang Senate. No? The whole Congress, being a branch of government, is actually independent of the two other branches.
In theory, of course.
In theory, as provided for in the Constitution, in the 1987 Constitution, but in practice, it is also being done, lalo na sa House. Kasi sa House, merong mga proposed legislation, halimbawa ang isang Pangulo, no? Hindi naman lahat yan, ibig sabihin, magiging batas. No? Maraming kokontra, maraming hindi boboto, maraming hindi rin papasa because of the parliamentary strategies employed by those who are against a proposed legislation. So para sa akin, there is a strong reason for the Filipinos to believe na independent ito. But we cannot avoid, syempre, kung ano yung, halimbawa, pinakiusap na batas na kailangan ipasa, ipapasa natin yan. Kung nakita naman ng mga membro ng Kongreso na makakatulong sa bayan. No? Things like that.
Okay, gusto ko itanong, ito, medyo singit lang. Bakit palagi nachichismis yung name ninyo para maging Secretary of the Interior?
Hindi ko rin nga alam.
Lagi eh.
Hindi ko rin alam. Siguro dahil my father used to be the Secretary of the ILG. I've been in Congress for more than 20 years. No? May legislative experience siguro. Meron din ako experience sa local government because I was once governor. So, hindi ko alam kung bakit ganun. I think our secretary is doing a good job. Diba?
You think?
I think so, yeah. I think so. He's doing a good job. Hindi ganun kadali kasi yung sitwasyon na kung saan nandoon si Secretary Remulla.
If you were the Secretary of the Interior, would you have been at the Senate earlier? Yung parang nadamay sa tulakan. Kung ikaw tinulak, kung nagkatulakan.
You mean today's, no? Ako siguro, baka wala ako doon. Baka wala ako doon.
May police ka, di ba?
Meron naman akong I will probably assign ground commanders no, to make sure that peaceful, walang gulong mangyayari, at wala nang putukan na mangyari sa loob ng Senado. Dahil nakakalungkot isipin na itong institusyon na ito, ngayon medyo iba ang dating sa ating mga kababayan. No? At hindi naman sa nagbubuhat tayo ng bangko because ngayon, kung ang institusyon kung saan ako galing, maganda ang rating.
Di ba? Did you ever imagine?
Well, you know,
kayo pa yung mas disciplined.
kasi nung una, kami yung
You were the rowdier younger brother.
That's correct. And, we're always, the lower house has always been the weeping boy. Di ba? Exactly. Kaya ganun siguro yung dating. But ngayon, nakita natin yung production, yung pagpasa ng mga batas on third reading, maraming pinasa ang lower house. Well, compared to what they did. No? May rason naman sila. Sinasabi nila, kasi kami pinag-iisipan namin. So, doon naman
parang
ako...
magduda ka pag walang dissent. Kasi ibig sabihin, walang nagde-debate.
Pero kasi nga, yun na. We have a bigger house. Kaya, syempre, if there are dissents in the proposed legislation, 1 or 2 or less than 10%, it will not even sound loud. Diba? Kasi wala namang hindi halos mapapansin dahil matatabunan siya by sheer numbers. Numbers game itong ating Kongreso.
Ayun, iniisip ko parang, paano nagawa ng Joe D.V., administrasyon nila Ramos, na parang kept to a minimum yung mga ganito. Kung iisipin mo lang parang, O baka masyado lang tayong bata noon, o wala pang social media, kaya ba hindi na-amplify? O may mga ganito rin.
May mga ganito rin. No?
Oo,
Doon
pero
sa
hindi umabot
nakita
sa
ko
ganun.
rin, when I was a member of the lower house in 1998, early part of prior to the Ramos and the shift to the ERAP and GMA presidency.
Noong impeachment, may sinapak na ano.
Oh, yeah, di ba?
Sergeant at Arms.
Meron si former Congressman Gonzales.
Gonzales.
So may mga ganun din, pero it was not just publicized right now na ganito kalaki. Kasi ang bilis ngayon because of social media. Yun nga nakakalungkot sa social media, ang bilis ng information, which actually should be an advantage.
Nadali ka rin doon.
Oh, nadali ako doon, di ba? Maraming information na fake.
Umamin ka daw eh.
Hindi ko umamin.
Umamin ka daw eh.
Maraming fake na, ito nga, sabi ko nga, in the advent of this technology called internet, dumami ngayon ang naging political analyst, dumami ang mga,
Lahat.
mapapansin mo, makikita mo yung mga post sa social media, akala mo kung magsulat o kung mag-analyze ng politika, parang akala mo ganun-ganun lang, no? Maraming naging ganun. Marami rin naging journalist.
Lahat
Oo,
na
di
yun.
ba? Suddenly, everybody became a journalist.
Yes.
Nag-uso yung vlog, nag-uso yung vlogging. Ngayon, nagre-report ng kung ano-ano. And they make it appear na totoo yung nire-report nila kahit na alam nilang fake news yan. No, yun ang malungkot na ito yung downside nung advancement in this technology.
Okay. So, meron bang feeling mo isang bagay na hindi pa rin fully naintindihan ng public about legislation or that body din?
Well, siguro may kakulangan lang ng konti dun sa information dissemination. And now with the social media, we can use this to the advantage of the Filipino people. No? Pwede nating ikwento kung ano yung ginagawa na batas ng Kongreso at paano makikinabang ang ordinaryong mga kababayan natin. Basta lang manggagaling ito dun sa source na totoong source. Hindi yung kung sino-sino lang na maglalabas ng kung ano-anong opinion. Kasi opinionated na ngayon masyado Ang dami ng, if you put one subject matter and ask several vloggers, they have different opinions. I'll guarantee you, if you have 1,000 vloggers there, you have about 999 different opinions. So, sa tingin ko, kailangan lang, kung merong information na dapat i-share sa ating kababayan, ito ay manggagaling lamang sa isang legitimate na source. No? Halimbawa, kung ito ay usapin tungkol sa Kongreso, Kongreso lang ang pwedeng maglabas.
Sasabihin pa rin nila, bias yun.
Yun lang.
So, one way siya. Pero okay, Kong Ace, we've had Congressman Defensor on the show. Siguro parang may corny akong tanong sa kanya Parang 20 plus, 25 plus years after, na-envision nyo ba yung grupo ninyo? Itong Spice Boys. I have this really charming photograph here. Na ito yung magiging trajectory ng mga tadhana ninyo.
One thing I can say, 28 years ago, na yung aking mga kasamahan sa grupo na so-called Spice Boys, na ngayon ay Old Spice na. Sa tingin ko...
Deodorant? Okay, sorry.
Sa tingin ko, lahat kami mayroong gustong gawin para sa bansa. Lahat kami gusto namin na maging maayos yung ating bansa. Hindi lang para sa amin na maaaring nandyan kami 28 years after kung saan man sila nakapwesto ngayon. Pero that will be for the next generation. Ang ibig kong sabihin, sana umayos ang takbo ng bansa, both politically and economically. That is the common denominator among my friends in the group called Spice Boys.
Kung quick advice to your former colleague, Alan Peter Cayetano, who's now Senate President, kung meron man.
Well, kung meron man akong advice sa kanya, siguro, let's see kung ano ang effect na nangyayari ngayon. Kasi we cannot be stubborn, no? Dapat balansehin din natin. I'm sure kayang-kaya ni Alan naman i-analyze yan. Matalino naman si Alan, nakikita niya. Kung ito ba pagpapatuloy niya sa pagiging Senate President ay makakatulong na malaki sa institusyon, makakatulong ba na malaki sa ating bansa, o ito ba ay makakapagpapigil, no, dun sa mga planong magaganda para sa ating bansa. Without discounting the fact that yung pinaka-importante na mandato ay nakasaad sa ating saligang batas ay yung accountability of public officers. Nasa kamay ngayon nila bilang institusyon yung paglilitis. At sa paglilitis, dyan sila magde-decide kung whether i-convict or i-acquit.
Paano kung sila rin nililitis din?
Yun ang yun ang may tama ka diyan, no? Mahirap nga naman na nililitis yung mga manlilitis.
May quote sa Bible, may kinalaman dyan. Pero Kung Ace, maraming salamat po sa oras ninyo. May nagpapatanong kung alam niyo raw kung nasan ba si Zaldico. Para
Actually,
talagang SILG ka na talaga sa lagay na yan.
Actually, hindi ko alam. Honestly, wala akong idea. I've been out of the circulation lately. Ako ay nandyan lang sa aming probinsya at I'm indulging myself in farming. I'm trying it.
Kung meron mahaba-habang oras, I'll ask you about the Israelis sana.
Oh yeah,
Interesting
yeah, sure, yeah.
Alright. Okay, thank you. Maraming salamat po. Former Surigao del Norte Representative and Governor Ace Barbers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Lord.
All right, Political Beat will be back after this break. You're still watching Political Beat. Let us now praise security guards, or otherwise known as the SG, or the Blue Army. The SG. They're the men in blue and white who are vanguards of our safety, from malls to schools to churches, or just about anything that resembles an office. Tourists may find it bizarre that a fast food in Manila is guarded by a uniformed man armed with a shotgun. But hey, when was the last time you saw an incident of mass shooting in the Philippines, American style? But it's much harder to become a security guard than it is to be a senator. This is what I mean. To become a security guard, here are the requirements. Aside from being a Filipino citizen of 21 to 50 years of age with at least a high school diploma, applicant must first undergo a pre-license training course from an accredited center by the PNP. Applicant must also display physical and psychological fitness that shall be confirmed by the required neuropsychiatric and drug tests. It should go without saying that he or she must possess good moral character with no criminal record, as will be attested to by the submission of clearances from the police, the NBI, and the barangay. And this is not to mention two valid government-issued IDs as well as government documents from the SSS, PhilHealth, SSS, or Pag-ibig. And did I mention a tax identification number? And did I also mention that you'd have to be at least 5 feet 4 inches in height if you're male, and not measuring below 5 feet if you're female. On the other hand, to run for the Senate, you only need a few things that can actually be counted by the fingers of one hand. Natural-born citizen, must be at least 35 years of age, and a registered voter, and must be able to read and write. That's all. Take note, no neuropsychiatric and drug tests. You don't even need clearance from the barangay. You've got a criminal case or record, you've spent time in jail, no problem. Exhibit A, several members of the current Senate, which means almost half of the members of the upper chamber will not be hired if they ever applied to become security guards. Am I serious? Hell yeah. If we're going to spend 25 million pesos a day on these people, why not demand much stringent standards? And that's the Political Beat this Thursday, the 4th of June. I'm Lourdes de Vera. Enjoy the rest of the evening.